So I just introduced, maybe I'll do one more time. Mr. Kenny, he's currently in charge of IB physics and IB chemistry, right? Miss Wang, and she's in charge of IB math. And here's Anga, he's our IB English teacher, right? And me and myself, I teach nothing. Okay, so we're gonna try to get this one started right away. Maybe I'll get Kenny to start first.
Okay.
All right.
No problem.
It's all yours. I'll get your PowerPoint ready.
Yes.
And you can use the clipper, right?
Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay, guys. Good evening. How are you doing today? Good, right? And very happy we put here together. It's like big family, like Linkedkey. Yeah. Probably from the picture, right? You know me. I'm here. Most like kids call me like Kenny 老师. Because we have like two teachers. Last name is Zan, so we can tell the difference. Right here, right? I'm teaching physics and chemistry here. So we have like a regular screen and IB program. Okay, so tonight, right, we're going to focus on IB program only. So everyone can see this. If your children, right, want to take IP program, you must know this is like a mandatory. So each group, right, we have to pick up one. So my job is here, science. So for science, right,
Doesn't work. Why?
it's okay. Okay.
Here.
Okay, thanks. Group one, right? We have a different science program, but I believe here, right? Most of your children, they want to pick up both physics, chemistry, or one of like biology. But for you, right? Most of you can only have a chance. Maximally, you can take 2 sciences here. Okay. So for example, right? If you want to take all the 3 science stream, right? You have to go somewhere, like your regular program or like a summer school, night school, whatever. So here, right, I focus on physics and chemistry. Okay.
What?
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 Okay, thanks. Yeah. So our RB program, right, is differentiated from like a regular program because we focus on experiment. Like most of like children, right, they have to conduct experiments in the school. For example, if you take IB chemistry regular program, you have to conduct at least 4 experiments from a day school. I'll go quickly, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we talk about like first is high level. For high level chemistry, right? My bad, it's physics. So as far as I know, right, our school, like most schools, right, is not running this program, except like a Catholic school away from St. Francis Xavier. This is open this course. So White Oaks, right, or like Arendelle is only open standard level. So you may wonder, right, what's the difference between high level and standard level? You will see here, we call core. That means standard and high level, right? Additional, we have 60 hours and 1 option. So you know the total difference. Say for you, right, if your child is going to take, for example, standard level for physics, she or he must finish physics once he or she is in grade 11. Understand, right? 你们的孩子如果要想学物理的那个普通的那个，普通物理 ，OK， 你们就必须在11年级把这个物理给完成。Okay, if your child, right, wants to take high level, that means you have to take first semester or second semester from your day school to finish grade 11 physics first, but it's still part of physics. And the next, right, once she or he gets grade 12, she or he has to spend 1 more year to finish physics in high level. 如果你的孩子要上那个 high level 的话，他必须要上1年半，12年级完成。 For people, right, if they want to take standard level, that means they're going to write exam on this May. Yeah. It's clear, right? Yes, good.
I'm going to use this.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Standard level, yeah. We don't talk about the more like details. Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, see here, right, the core is like a core theorem, right? One option. What do we call this? It's like a standard level. Overall, right, they are 150 hours. For regular school, right, for physics, like 11, they are 110 hours. And for grade 12, it's also 110 hours. So, you know, IB level is hard, it's condensed. So you must finish in 1 year for standard level. I repeat. Okay? Next page, please.
Okay. You
Yeah.
just push this one going forward and backward.
Oh, okay, that's
not
easy.
This, not this.
But you showed me that one, right?
Yep.
Okay. This is the core, right? Look. So first one is measurements and uncertainty, 就是测量和不确定。Second one, probably most people say this is hard. We call mechanics. And 就是力学。第三个是 thermal physics， 就是热物理。第四个是 waves。4 and 5 electricity and magnetism 就是电磁学，第五个是circular motion 就是向心运动和那个gravitation 就是 I don't know how to say Chinese, I forgot. Sorry, yeah. I don't know. 第七个是 atomic, nuclear, and this is the harder one. Is we call modern physics. Last one 是 energy production. We call energy, matter, and interface. Okay. Additional is for high level, right? Look at this. It's a wave phenomenon, right? Mostly we focus on like a double slit, single slit, interference, and diffraction. And the fields, mostly we have like three fields: gravitational, electric, and magnetic fields. Next one, electromagnetic is only for high level. We call 电磁感应. Okay, it's a magnetic induction. And the last one is the hardest one, is quantum and nuclear physics. If your child wants to go to like a power station in the future, go to McMaster to take this program. Yeah, we call nuclear engineering program. Yeah, option, right? Yeah, the first one, relativity. That means 相对论. Okay, there is like a paradox, right? For example, if you have like a twin brother, like Mr. Liu. We're going to travel to space today, and his space ship is like 0.4. 0.8 speed of light, right? 它的光速是0.8的 c. Once like 20 years come back, I'm very old. He still looks very young. Yeah, we talk about this. Okay, very interesting topic. So that's why people will have to take physics for your life. Okay, this one is engineering physics. Mostly like 工程物理. For people, right, want to take engineering in the future. Based on my understanding, right, most schools will pick up that one. Yeah. And this one, right, is astrophysics, like 天文学, 空气学这些东西. Okay, astrophysics. Practice scheme of work, right? That's like your work. Okay, quickly, yes. Assessment, yes.
Can I ask you a very quick question?
Okay, go ahead.
So the option,
Yeah.
practical scheme of work, is that part of the standard?
Yes, both. We call internal assessment. Mostly, right, your child will pick up one topic to conduct the experiment and run the paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So only the first one on the top is part of the high level.
That's only high one. We say additional, we call AHL. That means additional higher level. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good. And assessment, right? You might be, wow, I know. I'm not sure my kids is like take this program. Don't worry. We have three, like a paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Okay. So you take a look at this, right? Like overall weighting. Yeah. Mostly, right? If you take a high level, you don't have a chance because, like my daughter, right? She took a IP program, and like last July, she got all the transcript, and that's she is going to university. So it doesn't factor. It affects is in school, like Mr. One, right? You give them marks, okay, and then let them go university. Yeah. Okay. So first, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Yeah. And we did this here. And the cover subjects is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. This one, assessment outline, high level. Yeah, you can take this picture quickly, please. Okay. This internal assessment details is standard level. Yeah, you can see this, right? It's 30 minutes multiple choice questions on core, yeah. Here. Anyway, I told you it's not hard, okay? I'm going to tell you later. Paper 2 and the paper 3.
Just a quick question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Today is English and math, correct?
And
That's
we added physics.
okay.
And we have a chemistry.
Will come right after this.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Don't worry, I'll go quickly, okay? Thank you. Okay, IB statistics, right? Here, yeah. You know, we talk about the statistics, right? What's the probability my child will get a level 7 or like failed this level? Here this is, okay? Like high level, standard level, we can say, in order to get to level 7, this percentage, which one's good? High level, obviously, yeah. Right? Yeah, like a mean, you know mean, right? Like average is 4.63. That means if your child gets 4.6, I think it's very good. Like, but for, sorry, I say this for Chinese people, probably it's not good, right? What, you got a level 5? Okay, this is statistics, yeah. You take a look at this, okay? No problem, right? Yeah.
That means for example, average means level 5.
Yeah, that's the level 5. That's the level 5, okay? The good news, for example, if you get that mark, I believe it's like 84, 80, 85, something like that for physics. Yeah.
You know what? I think we'll hold all the questions at the end.
Yes.
And hold
Okay.
the question at the end, and then we'll have time for questions.
Okay? Thank you. There's like a grade boundaries, yeah. You may wonder, right, what's the convention between like IB program and my regular program? Yeah, here it is. Wait, I'll let you take pictures, okay? So here you go. Take a look at it, right? I prepared this for you guys. Yeah. Do you see the good news? What's the good news? Yeah. Yeah, for example, right? If you get a 70% from your test, that means you will get a 99 converted to regular program for physics. Yes, level 7. 70%, I said, yeah. 70%. Yeah. For chemistry, 75. For math, yeah, Miss Wan, yes, she's going to tell you, yeah.
For HL math,
Yeah.
I think the boundary is 79.
See.
If you give us above 79 onto earn level 7.
Okay.
SL is different. I think SL is above 75.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Look, it's convention. It's not me, it's government, yeah. So the 7, 97, 100, yeah. Oh, sorry. Look, level 4 is a level 5, yeah. So to get engineering school, top engineering school, that's a minimum, okay? Like a B5 plus, yeah. Okay, chemistry, yeah, I'm just go quickly, okay? Yeah, almost the same as like physics, okay? Yeah. You know, this content, right, we call, oh, just go ahead, yeah. See, this is the core, yeah. That means everyone has to take this. Okay. Next, this is a additional, we need 60 more hours. That means, yeah, one more semester, yeah. This is options, yeah. I know many schools now we're taking like a medicine, chemistry. It sounds like easy, like a memory stuff, like marijuana, yeah, cocaine, yeah. It's cool, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can tell the difference now. Okay, it's totally the same as like physics, yeah. And so, right, if you want to take standard level chemistry, you must finish in grade 11. Yeah, yes, grade 11. If you take a high level, right, mostly September, right, you take chemistry, and mostly it's based on like core, right, it's grade 11 from a regular school, and the second year you have to take a whole year. It's different, okay? Almost, right, Miss Liu, okay? Yeah, okay. This is like assessment, you can say here.
Sorry, can you go back just
Sure, yeah. The all teachers, right, we have to do follow this way, yeah. This is rule, yeah. Okay. Okay, okay, quickly, yeah. Because time is very limited. I'm sorry, yeah. Okay? Mr. Liu, we can put on the Linkedkey website, right? So people can download this.
We don't have to take pictures on,
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
PowerPoint.
Okay, good. Thank you.
We're
Yeah.
gonna put
Yeah.
it on the
Okay, are there any questions? Just quickly, okay, so for your child, right, in order to take like physics, especially like what we call mathematical skill based, okay, is highly demanded, because if we want to take computer engineering or all the engineering program, you have to take physics and chemistry, no more option, okay? So this is essential. For you, right, I just said you like as a parent, right, just let your like child be prepared. For example, right, you just go quite ahead. For example, in grade 10, I wish you can finish grade 11 math, okay? Do you understand? Yeah, otherwise get the timing, you're quite behind, and your child lost like confidence, yeah, it's not good. So in Chinese, we just say, 不能输在起跑线上. So Linkedkey, right, is the best choice, trust me, okay? Yeah, we have like best teachers here, yeah, trust me, yeah. We don't let you down, yeah, okay? Any questions? Go ahead.
2 questions.
Yes.
First one.
Can we hold the question at the end? We'll have the question at the end.
Sorry,
All
yeah.
the questions.
Oh, question not for the subject.
We'll leave the question at the end for
It's
all
okay.
the questions.
Oh, for the
Sorry.
was, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Liu.
All right. Thanks, Kenny.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny.
So this was
Okay.
prepared in summer,
Okay.
so everything's in Mandarin
Sorry.
and Chinese. And sorry, I will explain things in English, and then if you need Chinese explanation, you could actually just take a look at the PowerPoint because it's in Chinese, but I'll speak in English. I'm gonna skip a lot of those stuff because I actually did talk about it over the summer already. So I actually got a question. Someone was asking, what kind of child is a good fit for IB program? Do they need to be super intelligent? So I kind of talk about those are the things that IB actually put it up as IB student profile, and the ones that are circled, which I think are truly important to be successful in a high school IB DP program. For example, sorry, now it's all in Chinese. I don't know the English now. Let's see, inquiry. So basically, it is inquiry-based learner, and then you need to actually learn to fail so that you can actually be successful.
You need to hold on this.
Really? Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay. And then you need to be very balanced. I think this is probably the most important thing because you do know that once your kid is enrolled in IB program, you don't have a choice of not much flexibility in terms of course selection. So you could so you have to take French, for example. You don't like French, you don't have a choice. You don't like English, you don't have a choice. You don't like math, too bad, you don't have a choice. So you could take maximum up to 2 courses in science, but you also need to have a credit in social science as well. That's why we call it the 6 groups. So math is group 5 and science is group 4. You can take maximum 2 sciences. That's basically what you could do. So if your kid is, let's say, super like good at writing essays and interested in literature stuff, but not so interested in math, then something could happen later. I don't know, because like you need to be very, very balanced in order to continue with the program, because you don't really have the flexibility to pick courses. Basically, it is already pre-designed for you. That's basically what I'm saying. So basically that leads to how do we strategically select IB courses. For example, what I suggest everyone to do is still talk to your guidance counselor ahead of time, saying these are the programs that I'm interested in getting enrolled, and but different universities do have different prerequisites and requirements. So you have to think about what will be the best strategies of selecting your best 6 courses. So note that 6 best OSSD grade 12 marks doesn't really mean it's the 6 IB program, like the 6 disciplinary marks from IB. For example, you are earning 2 math credits from SL Math and 3 credits from the HL Math. So if you're actually applying for university and you actually took HL Math, then you've already completed 3 credits out of the 6, right? So they're not really equivalent. So 1 HL is equivalent to 3 Ontario credits, and then 1 SL course is counted as 2 Ontario credits. So they're not exactly equivalent. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I put up some random, like I just put this, I don't know why you want to take pictures. Okay, so it's going to be probably very small if you're trying to take pictures. So I think they're going to upload the PowerPoint somehow, sometime. All right, so I actually uploaded a couple I would say hot programs that in demand. These are the prerequisites for IB students. One is the Waterloo Computer Science. I guess, I don't know why, but everyone is into it. Waterloo seems to have I would say Waterloo Computer Science is very strict in terms of whether you pick SL Math or HL Math. They're probably, out of all the university, probably this is the one that cares the most about, they prefer you take HL Math over SL Math. Because they're trying to say, okay, so total 6 LE3 need to be HL. So if you have an option of taking HR or SL Math, you can escape. However, some of your schools, depending on which school you come from, might only offer SL Math. Then you don't have an option to take HL Math. So in that case, that is probably good news for your kid, because if your kid is only able to do SL Math because that's all the school can offer, then Waterloo has to take the SL Math, right? Otherwise, how would you be able to get the HL credit math? So no one's saying you have to take HL Math. They prefer you take HL Math, but if the school doesn't offer HL Math, then you are going to take SL Math, and in that, so the kids will have a better chance of scoring higher. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to say here. So this is just a comparison between the requirements for IB students versus the requirements for OSSD regular Ontario students. So in terms of McMaster, as you can see, McMaster actually offers a lot of, I don't know how to say this, but advantages, or like they love IB students, like for example, McMaster. So if you are enrolled in the HL courses, so McMaster will give you first year university credit, so you don't have to, it's like AP, right? You don't have to take first year course because you save tuition fee. That's what McMaster offers, but not every university will offer that. And also, McMaster really is not as strict as Waterloo, saying that you have to take HL Math. It could be SL Math, right, in terms of computer science, so you have the option there. So I also received a question regarding the requirements for engineering. I just pull up this from the U of T website. Again, U of T, they don't really, they say recommended. So what I circle here says recommended HL Math for engineering, but what recommended means that you don't have to. Okay, so if you want SL, that's okay. That's basically what they're saying. They recommend you to do that. But for U of T, they don't really give any credits for saying, like, you know, save tuition fee, or you can waive your first year math by not taking, like, by taking HL in high school. So it will not be waived. You know, U of T wants money. Okay, so that's basically. Okay, so basically, these are just telling you that what are the benefits of taking IB program and the pros and cons, basically, right? So I already mentioned that you don't have a choice of course selection. Some school doesn't even offer physics, so you have to take physics in a summer school in order to get the Ontario physics credit. Might not be a bad thing, because summer school is considered to be easier. And you don't have a choice for French. You have to take French whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, I guess SL. If you like it, HL. Because you do need a foreign language. Also, you have a lot of extra. You have CAS hours to do. These are like the extra curriculum hours that you have to complete on top of the Ontario 40 hours voluntary time. Okay? So also, kids will experience stress. This is due to very highly competitive, like because all of your kids' classmates are very highly competitive. So they're in an environment, but it's also very driven. So for some kids, they like that challenge and they like that stress, because stress is good up to a certain point, right? So now they have the motivation to go further, and also there is a disadvantage of HL course, that is because when you submit your mark to university, by April they need to make a decision, right? University doesn't care really at the end when you complete your exam in May whether you score 7 or not, because by then it's too late. Okay, so if you're in an HL course, then your exam will be your last year and during May, and that time it is too late. So even though the mark will be eventually submitted and then converted to whatever 99%, however you like it, but by then university already has finished their enrollment. They don't care about whether you're the best out of the best. They just want to make sure the pool of students that they select are good, right? You don't have to be the best of the best, right? So really, so by April, you need to have all the marks submitted. So which means if you're in HL courses, the predicted grade highly depends on your HL teacher, day school HL teacher. So day school HL teacher has a lot to say about what kind of mark your kid will get, basically, because that's the mark that university will see, right? Because it's too late. The May exam is too late, right? So usually they make the offer in April. However, if you're taking SL courses, then because most of the time SL Math and SL Science, Physics or Chemistry, they are offered during grade 11. So if you take the exam in May again, right? So you're still in grade 11. So by July, the beginning of July, you will receive the marks from IB, right? And then these marks are the final marks. And then university will receive those marks way ahead of time because you complete those credits during grade 11 years. So when it comes to picking or choosing your courses, right, you got to think about what kind of marks do you want university to see first, right? Or probably it will be the marks that are the prerequisite. For example, like if you're doing engineering, that you want the math, physics, and chemistry. The early, the better. And the best thing is if it's final mark, that's even better, because then university don't have to worry about. So they already know that, oh, your kid is perfect, this mark is great, and that's the final say, and then we will take the kid, right? So versus some courses, like HL courses, if you take, then the mark is not final. And there is a disadvantage of that. So in terms of that, you got to think about how you want to play your game here, right? So just think about what kind of marks would you prefer to let university see first, right? And then if you say, okay, I have SL French, but university like, okay, your kid is not applying for our French program. I don't care about your French mark. Doesn't matter how good it is. But you want computer, you want engineering, so I don't care about your French mark. I'm not trying to say French is not important. I'm just saying, depending on what kind of program that you are applying for, you got to think about what kind of marks you would like university to see first, and they have to be good. That's basically how you decide what kind of courses your kid should select. I think that answered a big question here. Did I explain things clearly? Yeah, okay, all right. Comparing SL Math and HL Math, again, SL's 2 semester. So right now we're basically replacing, so SL Math is replacing the Advanced Function MHF credit and the Calculus, the MCV credit. Okay, these are the courses. So really the only credit that you're not getting is data management, which is MDM, but data management is not usually a prerequisite for most of the programs in university. So it doesn't hurt you to do SL, all right? And then for high-level math, then you get all 3 credits. And then also for standard level, you only have 2 papers to write. Paper 1, non-calculator. Paper 2, with calculators, graphing calculators. You have an internal assessment to complete, which is almost like a essay, but it's more like a math exploration. And related to the content of SL Math. And then if you're doing HL Math, then there will be paper 1, 2, 3, and then you will also have to complete an IA internal assessment. And then I already explained that for SL Math, because you completed in grade 11. So by July, you're going to get your SL mark in, and then that mark is going to replace both MHF and MCV credits. So you're going to see your MHF and MCV having exactly the same mark, right? So both credits are replaced, and then you are ready to submit them in grade 11, in grade 12. Okay, so and then HL math, you do have to wait because your exam comes later, right, in May. So I think by January, your teacher will be able to give you a predicted grade. That mark will be basically your advanced function mark because that's the end of January, all right, of your grade 12 year. And then your MCV mark won't come out until July, basically. But calculus is a very important credit, right? So in terms of level of difficulty, SL Math is actually not hard. SL Math is, I would still say it is probably easier than Ontario Math. But yes, it is easier, believe it or not. But then the way, you got to get used to the style of the question. That a lot of times just kids don't know how to read the questions. They don't understand what IB really wants. Because what IB wants is a complete overview of how much high school math your kid know, right? Versus Ontario curriculum, you finish advanced function, your calculus teacher is not going to ask you advanced function questions, right? Once you finish the course, it's over, it's done. However, for IB, it is a holistic exam that actually integrates all of the high school math. So your kid cannot say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember what I did in grade 10. Too bad. You got to remember what you did in grade 9, in grade 10, grade 11, and everything, right? So that's why people think IB is hard. That is because you need to retain all of the information for your exam, right? Versus if you're doing Ontario credit, then it's just like you finish the credit, you move on to the next one, right? You finish data, then you're going to do advanced function. Do they have any relation? No, they don't have any relation. Do you need to retrieve any memory back from data management in order to move on to advanced function? No, you don't, right? But unfortunately, if you're doing SL exam, do you have data question on the exam? Yes, you do. Do you have like function questions on the exam? Yes, you do. So you have everything on that exam. That's what makes it hard for kids. Right? So I just want to explain why it is you consider this to be hard. But in terms of the level of difficulty to content-wise, it is actually easier. All right? So, but HL is definitely hard. Okay? So this one, HL will cover all of the high school math content. On top of that, it will also cover some of the university topics as well. That's why it's high level. Okay? So conversion. Kenny has already shown the conversion. I'm not going to emphasize too much about the conversion. This is just the overall grade boundary. So if you go and take an IB exam, then if you get, so on that exam, let's see, this is standard level component boundary. So if you get 76 and above on that IB exam in May, then that's a level 7. IB does not give, thank you, IB does not give 7 plus or 7 minus or 7. IB only gives whole level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7. So what makes you a 7 plus or 7 minus is at the grace of your day school teacher. Okay, so if your regular performance at school does not meet the expectations of your day school teachers, or you make them unhappy about you, then you will get a 7 minus, right? So that's their power, right? So IB only say the kid will be in level 7. Fine, I'll give you a level 7, but I think you're a 7 minus, then here you go, okay? So, or you think that you can slack off and not doing any work and think that you're gonna cram and then do your May exam like, oh, I can fail everything because nothing counts until May. And then you go and do that exam, first of all, chances of that happening is like slim, okay? So you don't put hard work and then you just say, I'm gonna go do the exam and then no. Okay, so first of all, it's not likely going to happen. Even if it happened, I think your day school teacher will not give that 7 plus to you. Okay, that's basically what I want to say here. Anyway, if you're doing HL math, then you actually have 3 papers, right? So paper 1 and paper 2. So if you look at the boundary, it's actually higher. So if you want to achieve a level 7, you need to be 79% and above. it's actually harder, right? The setup for level 7 is actually higher. And on top of that, HL content is more difficult, and it's like quantity or content-wise, it is more. All right, so anyway, so IA, then we all know the importance of IA, that it counts as 20% of the total mark. So what I do here is, because I do teach IB SL here, so I ask the kids to bring their IA, and then you get a chance for me to take a look and give you some feedback and comments. That's one benefit you get here by having me as your IB teacher, because I do mark IA a lot, because every year I have to mark lots of IAs. Right, so it's just based on experience. I can tell you these are the things that you can improve, because you only have one time opportunity of having an interview with your day school teacher. So if by then, if your kid has not completed 99% of your IA, so the first draft is not done, then your day school teacher can only comment based on what the kid handed in, right? Or if the IA draft is not really meeting the expectation, then the day school teacher saying, I suggest you not doing this topic, but you choose to do this topic, and then that's it. Right? So you don't get another chance to talk to your day school teacher. So it's good that you actually start planning those things early, and then actually have someone that understands the program to tutor your kids. Okay? So exam, paper 1, no calculator whatsoever. If your kid is in pre-IB right now, try not to use calculator too often when they're doing homework questions. Okay, so paper 2, graphing calculator. Graphing calculator is not scientific calculator. The use of graphing calculator is not for you to punch a number doing 3 plus 4 equals 7, right? So the use of graphing calculator is for you to do the question in the most efficient way and answer the question and move it on to the next question. So a lot of time people think the IB exam is hard. It's because your kids have not get used to that kind of style or setup, right? So one of my job here is to train your kids, say, if this is a paper 1, how are you going to do the question? If it's a paper 2, how are you going to do the question, right? These are the constant practice that we do in classroom, so that, you know, when kids actually get a question, they know exactly what they should do and the best approach to solve the problem efficiently. Okay, so that's basically it. I'm done with my presentation, and can move on to torch the next person.
Thank
If you
you.
have any question, you can ask me later.
Okay, well, we'll ask a question at the end. Okay, we have 3 speakers today. Mr. Kenny is considered the most energetic person. Ms. Wang is the most popular one. That's the most likable one. I'm the most boring one. And let me, oh, that's your water. Okay, let me invite Angad. He's in charge of IB English, and it's all yours. You want to hold on this?
Sure.
I'm going to bring up your purple.
Okay.
There we go. Got it?
Yep. Great. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Angad. I did IB at White Oak Secondary School, so I'm sure a lot of you are planning to go there. Now I'm at McMaster doing health sciences. I'm in my 2nd year. So if you have any questions about like the IB experience, you can ask me and I'll be happy to answer. I can promise you that it's not as stressful as it sounds. Yeah, you will get through it. It's really not that difficult. It's challenging, but it is spread out over 2 years. Things like retaining everything that you've learned over high school. You're going to be preparing for these exams for months, so like I'd just caution you not to be too afraid. I'm going to be talking about IB HL English. Now the reason I won't be going over SL English is because SL English isn't offered. If you are in English, you have to take the higher level English. So it will be 3 semesters. Now you do have options with HL English. You can take the Lang and Lit, or you can take literature. So literature is the one that I'm going to be talking about. Language and literature is just as good. You can take it, and universities won't care which one you take. The difference is in the style of learning. So literature is a lot more essay writing, and it is difficult. Lang and Lit is supposed to be easier, but it's also a lot more media analysis. So you'll be doing things like reading news, interpreting media sources, posters and such. So again, I took the literature one, which is supposed to be more difficult, but I think it's very rewarding. Of all the courses that I took in IB, I took HL Chemistry, I took SL Math. I found this one the most useful going into university. So, like in comparison to the two presenters that just went up, I feel like English is very different. It's not as structured. So that's the main difference. Also, there aren't really very many defined units, and every semester of the 3-semester HL set, you are going to be doing things over and over again. So you won't be learning new things, but you'll be applying the things that you know to new books, new plays, new poems. So going over my experience in English literature, it'll be different for every single person. So in term 1, you have an introduction to poetry analysis, play analysis, so Shakespeare, Henrik Ibsen for me, but it'll be different depending on which school you go to and which teacher you have, and also higher level essay writing. So how do you write essays at a higher level? Now, the main challenge in term 1, which will be in grade 11, regardless of whether you do media or literature, is that it is a lot of stuff. It's very overwhelming because it's much easier in grade 10 than it is in grade 11. For example, they don't teach poetry in grade 10. They don't teach plays as intensively in grade 10 as they do in grade 11. And essay writing expectations are much lower in grade 10 than they are in grade 11. So at least in term 1, I feel a lot of students feel like they're being thrown into it, and it is very challenging. The main challenge in term 2 is that it's very fast. So you learn what an interactive oral commentary is. So this is where your public speaking skills become very important. Personal persuasive essays. So now not only are you looking at fictional novels and novels that are written in that genre, but also novels that are written on social issues. So for us, we read a book about feminism. And then you also have rigorous in-class tests. So the tests in grade 12, so term 2 will be in grade 12, the first half of grade 12. These tests, you have 75 minutes to analyze something you've never seen before, and you'll have to write about 10 pages of analysis on it. So it is a lot of work, and it is not much time. So it's just, if you do it over and over again, you'll get good at it. So again, it's very different from the other IB courses. There aren't units. Every single time you do it, you get a bit better. The last term is just a combination of these two. So you take all the skills you learned in term 1 and term 2 and you apply them to a whole new set of books, a whole new set of plays. So the units in the IB English, so the first one, the biggest one would be novel studies. So this is when the teacher gives you books, you read the books, and then you have to analyze them, you write tests on them, you write essays. Essays are the big way that novels are analyzed. So these are the novels that I did in IB English. They're going to be different every time you go through the IB program depending on who your teacher is. Because IB publishes a list of books and teachers have to pick from that list which books they want to teach. I've highlighted the books that I've taught so far at Linkedkey. Actually, I should have... Nope. We're good. So the Picture of Dorian Gray I taught for the level 3s, and the Scarlet Letter I taught for the level 4s this past term. And for plays, so plays are also analyzed by oral presentations or essay writing. So that's how they evaluate your ability to understand plays. So Macbeth, Hamlet, The Merchant of Venice, The Twelfth Night, A Doll's House. A Doll's House is the only non-Shakespeare play in this list, so they do like Shakespeare a lot. And if you do plays, you're going to do Shakespeare. Shakespeare is something that's very difficult, especially if your teachers don't focus on it in grade 9 and 10. It feels like you're being thrown into it, and now you have to understand something that sounds like a completely different language. So in that sense, it is challenging. And again, the highlighted ones are the ones that we've done here at Linkedkey. And then lastly, poetry. So the way poetry works in IB is that they choose writers. So they'll choose a writer like Ted Hughes or Robert Frost, and then they'll give you a set of poems on them. And then the way your evaluation works is that it's called an interactive oral commentary. So your teacher will call you in for whatever time you're given, and for 10 minutes you'll have to talk about a poem that you haven't seen before. So it's like that whole writing thing in 75 minutes, but you have 10 minutes and you have to talk. Of course you're going to get practice, and it's not quite as daunting as it sounds, but it is challenging, and every time you practice, as I said, you get better at it. So now I'm going to talk, and if you have any questions about the IB English program, you can come to me. So now we're going to talk about the courses over here and how they correspond to IB. So the first three actually correspond to earlier grades, but they still have the same units as IB. So the framework is still IB centered, but these last two, so English Literature 4 and English Literature 5, are the ones that are mostly focused on IB. The reason is because when I picked books for these, I picked books that were IB taught in the IB program and were appropriate for that level. So English Literature 4, what we do is that we teach advanced literary analysis within the HLIB English format. So IB, although English is very different than something like chemistry or math, the markers are still looking for very important things that then they can give you different levels on. So to get a level 7, you need to do certain things. Your communication needs to be a certain way. The literary devices that you can pick out need to be a certain way. The level at which your writing needs to be in a certain way, and they mark you on that basis. Now, English Literature 5 is very similar. It's just going to be on teachers' recommendation. So for this class, we're going to pick students who have taken the English Literature 4 and excelled in that. So we're going to put them into there. And the reason that we have this is because IB English is very much discussion-oriented, which means that students will be talking to each other about their interpretations of the books and the passages that they read. And another reason that's so good is because the interactive oral commentary I was talking about, you need to know how to say your opinions or how to voice them and how to phrase them into like coherent sentences that people can understand, especially because IB markers will get a recording of you. They won't know who you are, but they'll hear your 10-minute analysis and they'll give you a mark on that. So you need to know how to be able to talk to people and explain your opinions on something that is very complicated and it's not very easy to understand. So what are the important skill sets that are taught, and also what are the challenges? So first of all, these are challenging high school units. So many students in high school do not receive a proper introduction to Shakespeare and poetry. And the reasons are, well, first of all, because these are very difficult. Poetry isn't something that most people read for leisure. So lots of people here probably read books for fun or have when they were children. But Shakespeare is something that lots of people have no exposure to. Poetry is difficult because poetry is very subjective, which means that everyone will have a very different interpretation of it. What you need to do is justify why you see a poem in a certain way. And so if these texts are taught early, students will excel in high school, especially when they go into IB. So even if you're not going into IB, this is still very important to learn, and I think you would excel in those academic level courses. I think students learn to write well or become good at writing when they read more often. And specifically when they read prose, poetry, and plays. Prose are just books, literature. So course readings, again, as I said, were carefully selected to improve writing and teach students a few grades in advance. So a lot of these books are a lot more advanced than what you would be learning usually, and they're selected carefully from IB's roster. And it's also stuff about structuring an essay. So, okay, you know how to write, but then how do you know how to present your content or present your arguments? That's a very different thing, and that's also very important. Also, persuading someone. So if you can phrase your argument, then how do you make it persuasive? How do you make it sound compelling? That's another skill unto its own. And lastly, how do students improve in school and the grades that they get? That happens from writing as often as they can. So as I was talking about, there are challenging evaluations, and the way you get better at them in school is by doing it over and over again. And lastly, by getting feedback. So the way the courses are structured is that there are actually 4 essay submissions. There'll be 4 essays on a short story, a book, a poem, and a play. And so on those essays, they would get feedback and edits from the teacher. And then lastly, students here are able to ask for feedback and help with any assignments that they have in school. That's all. You can ask me questions about any of that stuff.
All right. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this off. All right. So really quickly, before we go into the questions, I'll just quickly make a couple announcements. Number one, a lot of people ask whether we can create a WeChat group for the IB program, right? For those of you who do not have WeChat, we highly recommend that you install one. It should be fairly easy, just on your cell phone. So on your way out, if you do have a WeChat account already, you just need to scan the barcode, right? And then you can join the WeChat group. The second announcement, I'm not sure how many people here have heard of a program called mock trial. It's basically a trial, a simulation for the law court. We're going to do an info session on this coming Thursday, January the 31st. So just let you guys know if you're interested. You all are welcome to come. The mock trial program, I mean, here in Canada is less popular. It's pretty much dominated by the U.S. Right. One of the most important tournament is called Empire, which happens in New York City. The top 20 teams, 17 of them are from U.S. schools, right? The three other teams, one from Canada, one from British, another one from Korea, right? We're trying to create a contender team here, right, for Canada. But anyway, if you're interested, come in on Thursday. Now we're going to open up for questions. Any questions? Okay.
I have a question.
Ms. Wang, Mr. Kenny, yes.
I have a question
Yes,
for
please.
Kenny.
Yes, he's coming back.
Okay. For the chemistry.
Can you hold on because Kenny is not here yet?
Literacy and the other ones. If the people
Mr. Kenny, question for you.
So, yes.
Can we come over here?
Okay, no problem.
We need to speak just in
No
front
problem.
of
Thank
this.
you. Okay. Yes.
So if the first question is that for the high levels chemistry versus the standard.
Yeah.
So how much is the difficulty level?
Honestly, right, standard level is much easier. High level is hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like a university first year level, completely, like first semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second question is that, so if my kid selects the standard
Yeah.
and the other kid select the high level, so even though my kid, the marks is higher than the other kid who selects the high level, so how the university will just evaluate, okay, so based on the marks or only based on the standard or high level?
You're getting to a question that is probably specially designed for guidance counselor,
Yes.
first of all.
I asked that, but they
it's,
didn't give me the answer.
Yeah, of course, they're not supposed to give me
Yeah,
the
of course.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually have the power to represent university to answer a question like that. Even if you
Yeah.
ask them personally, they will not give you a detailed formula of who they would select as their potential candidates or first-year freshmen. So I think there's just my 2 cents. Okay, so I think you should still consider your overall average, not just focusing on chemistry, one subject, right? So if your kids, doesn't matter what kind of HLSL combination your kid is doing, if your kid's average is significantly higher than the other kid, then she's the one being picked, right?
So
Yes,
that
of
one,
course, yeah.
That means the high level or standard level would not make a big difference.
Big difference.
That depend also specific. It's also depending on the program requirement. You do have to check out the specific program, like what I showed previously. Waterloo has a set of requirements, and McMaster is completely different,
And
right?
U of T
And
is
then
different
U of
than-
T is
yeah.
different too. So you need to kind of look at the potential schools that your kid is going to apply for, and then decide what will be the best strategies of picking your courses. Right, and I also suggest that if that mark is important, it's better that you submit it earlier than wait until HL, then it's not done until May, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's many factors though. There will be no I don't think it's a single formula thing that you can get.
You can- yeah,
So the
yes.
message I got from the counselor was only the mark is most important, even though you are in high level. But if the mark isn't good, then the less chance.
All right, so I'll jump to the next one. Go ahead.
Questions about English. You talk about the 2 high levels. One is literacy, another one is language literacy.
Yeah.
For the people whose
That's okay,
major
we
in the
understand.
future is not in science, for example, in the humanity field, which one should they pick? Which is because this is geared towards a program they're going to choose for. It's not. So you recommend the literacy or the other one because they're both high levels.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I think that you'd learn different things in both. But I think if the goal is to become good at writing, that can happen in either one. Most people pick language and literature because it is easier. That's the main difference. But if you're going into media, obviously you should pick language and literature. If you want to go into something like political science or whatever else like that, I would say it's not very different.
Okay, the focus will be get a 7. That's whichever.
Yeah, that's the top priority. Yes, yes, that's the top priority. Yeah, take an easy one. Yeah.
Whatever you can get.
That's all. Thank
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Question for math and chemistry.
Sure.
For the vital right now, my son is facing choose high-level chemistry or high-level math. What?
Chemistry,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it becomes 3 high-level, 3 standard level, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend, how between these 2 subjects, how do I?
Well, I strongly suggest you take a high level for chemistry. To get the good marks, it's easy.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's also
honestly, yeah. Don't, if you, yeah, oh, well, probably is not a good news is here. Take a standard, right? Mostly your kids are very smart. I guess most of you get the 6 or 7, right? But the high, yeah, yeah. But the high level is hard.
High-level math is
If you want to take it like in the future, right? Like you take an engineering programming, right? Or mathematics, yeah, you take high level because it's well prepared for future, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a very, I can say I understand from the parents' point of view that, or even from the kids' point of view that what important is right now. Just get into university first and don't worry about your
Step in
future.
first, yeah.
Get it in first, but then, but you do have to consider, like I have feedbacks from kids doing HL math that they think their first year math in university is pretty easy for them. Right, because HL math does actually prepare them well for the first year. Like I think it's the same thing with chemistry. Like they will be, especially organic chemistry and all the stuff. Like they will be prepared for first year university. So and then university GPA is also important, right? You think high school mark is important, but university mark is also important. So you do have to consider the future. Like it depends on what program your kid is interested in.
not decided yet, right? Maybe
Right now,
the
yes, not
engineering
decided.
might maybe math, right? My daughter is involved in math. She's doing math and few subjects.
Yeah.
And she selected my son to select high-level math, but I'm not sure.
So, do you think that I've never compared a chemistry course with a math course. So, in terms of HL level difficulty,
Whoa,
like,
of course it's hard, yeah. This is hard, yeah. It is, yeah.
She did it on
Compare
purpose.
high-level
Yeah.
chemistry is easier than high-level math.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what? I'll make a quick comment on this, right? When
And
you,
my point only, okay?
when you guys talk about, this is only my opinion, right? It can be personal. When you guys talk about the course selection and so on and so forth, I would take a step further, okay, look beyond, okay? Maybe not just looking at what courses you need to choose now, but what program you want to pursue in the university, right? So take a look at the university application requirements. That helps you make this decision right now. Okay, that's only my personal opinion. We're gonna take 2 more questions, and then you guys are always welcome to stay behind, and we can talk individually. Give you 1 more, and then I'll give you another. Okay, go ahead.
For the English teacher, I understand you're at McMaster right now. So I'm just wondering what course you took in grade 11 and 12.
In IB?
Yeah.
So I took higher level English literature, higher level chemistry, standard level math. And having taken HL Chem, I can say that first year chemistry in university is the exact same thing. So it's very easy. And I know a lot of friends who took SL math and then took university math, and they also said it was easy. So I took standard level French, standard level biology, and there's one other.
One more.
Oh yes,
High level.
high level geography. Yeah,
That's easier, right?
it is.
That's easy, yeah.
Take the standard physics.
No, you can only take 2 science.
Write this down.
Most, maximum.
That's right.
You have to go outside. Summer school, night school, regular school, spell time.
All right. Okay.
The last one,
We're
right?
gonna take one more. Go ahead.
Yes, I also have a question for the English teacher. I'd like to ask you if you have compared yourself with your classmates and they are from the non-IP program. If IB program have made you make success stand out.
Of course, he's the best. That's why he works here.
Make a brief comparison with your IB program with the program from the standard and all the AP.
So your comparison. So your question.
Students from a different institution.
So your question is like, how is my experience different than a
The regular swim students, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it was. I felt like I learned a lot of the same things as other people, but the way that learning happened was different. So like, for example, as they were talking about, my maths ended at the end of grade 11 because I took SL math. And my grade 12 was very different because I was focusing on my higher level subjects. But at the end of school, I felt like I'd learned about the same as all my peers who hadn't been in IB. And in university, it doesn't make much difference if you did do IB or not. But I would say that I did benefit from IB overall.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably time management and how you plan out, because you do have a much busier schedule in high school, and then kids who are enrolled in IB program tends to manage their time better. And they don't get so basically it's almost like they get less shock when they enter first year university. I think there is a transition period that I experienced that. Like, I consider myself pretty strong in high school, and then it was like in first year university, it was like, okay, how come my mark is 85? It's not 90 anymore, right? And then I'm like, okay, so then psychologically you need to accept who you are, and you always know there are better people than you, and then you just work from there, and then it gives you like some kids, they hit the wall and it's really hard for them. It's not a bad idea for them to hit the wall earlier than later, and then they actually recognize their own value, and then once they can actually recognize their, like, where I am, like they have a better fair estimation of at what level they're working at, they become more successful. It's not about how intelligent the kids are, it's about how much they understand their advantages and disadvantages. I think that is actually how you set the difference. Like, some kids just say, oh, I do it because my parents told me to do it. Like, I think I'm pretty smart. Okay, you think you're pretty smart? Like, I don't know how you, like, what is your evidence? Tell me, like, you think you're smart, right? So you cannot even defend yourself with those kind of, like, you just like, oh, I heard this, I heard that. So eventually, I think, for kids to be successful, they recognize, like, what level they're working at, and how much potential they do have, and what their true interests lying at. So, I mean, yes, I think for IB program that, like, at least the kids get a taste of all of the subjects, right? And they also know how to manage themselves to be a better or more efficient learner. And these are all valuable skills that they can actually possess, right? And then that will carry on. And then once they're in university, they're more like an independent learner, and these are all great qualities. And then to help them to grow more, like grow better, to a better person. Okay?
Great.
Yeah.
Well, you can stay behind, and then we'll ask questions individually. So, you know, we'll try to wrap this up, everyone. I think this is a great seminar. So let's give a quick round of applause for all three teachers. Mr. Kenny, Ms. Wang, and Agat, not to mention myself.
Appreciate you as well.
Thank you. I do thank everyone to turn out. I mean, the weather and road conditions are not great today, and thank you everyone for joining us. One more thing, we do have some handouts for IB French. If you want to grab one, just grab one on your way out. Okay, this is for the handout for the IB French. And don't forget to, if you want to join the IB program WeChat group, you can scan the barcode just in the front on the front desk. Any further questions? Welcome to stay behind. And don't forget, we have a seminar info session on Thursday for mock trial.
What time?
7.
And we do have IB math course offer for summer school and likely
We do have a summer school offer.